let's see how we can use this concept of value chain to design strategy. You will recall value chain in one of the earlier sessions. Value chain is a concept which has been elaborated by Professor Porter, where he says that for any company there are the primary internal activities of the company, which are inbound logistics, that is materials coming in, operations where things happen, outbound logistics when materials go out, marketing and sales where they are sold to customers, and service, that is after sales service. These are the primary activities of any company. The secondary activities which support these primary activities, on the one hand you have infrastructure. We are talking about soft infrastructure. The corporate office is an infrastructure, right? The second is HR, which is a support function. The third is technology development, which is a support function. And the fourth is procurement. Procurement is a support function. So these four are support functions which help those five primary functions. This is the value chain. Now, how do we use this concept of value chain to design strategy? Now, let's look at the value chain for a premium supermarket. Here's the value chain. Now, look at the bottom part, which is the primary activities, right? The bottom part, you have the primary activities. The first one is inbound logistics. Inbound logistics, in the case of a premium supermarket, refrigerated transport is very important, right? Secondly, when we look at operations, that is within the store design is very important. Removal of old products from the shelves is very important, because in a premium supermarket, if customers, when they move around the shop, come across old products or products which have crossed their expiry date, this would reflect very badly on the stature, on the credibility of that shop, in the case of a premium shop. So that's the emphasis for operations. Outbound logistics, delivery service is very important. Customers expect that homebound delivery would take place. Then, as far as marketing and sales go, normally customers in these high profile supermarkets do not expect price discounts, right? Price is not the factor that brings them there. In terms of service, customers to a premium supermarket expect full, no hassles refund. If the customer brings the product back, if the customer is dissatisfied with the product, the customer expects a full refund. Let's look at the support activities. Now, as far as infrastructure is concerned, there is a large corporate staff. HR, it looks at mature staff for inbound logistics, and it looks at experienced staff for operations, because the store is a premium store. The technology looks at the technology of consumer research, because consumer research is very important. In the case of a premium shop, the most important thing is to understand what the consumer wants, right? So technology is focused on that. Procurement is focused on getting non-branded products which the store in turn brands itself, because it is a premium shop, right? So this is how the value chain of a premium supermarket would look like. Okay. Now let's look at a low-end supermarket. We are looking at the other end of the spectrum, the popular end of the spectrum, not the premium end of the spectrum. Now at the lower end of the spectrum, what are the differences? Let's come back to inbound logistics. Inbound logistics, bulk housing, right? Bulk warehousing is a primary activity which is important here. Right? It's not refrigerated transport that is important, it is bulk warehousing that is important. When you look at operations of the shop, range is limited, store design is simple, unlike a premium supermarket where the store design is an important issue and limited range is not the problem. The issue there is that old products need to be removed. The point here is that you provide a limited range because you want to keep your costs down. It is a low-end supermarket. When you look at marketing and sales, price discounts are very important here because customers are price conscious, they are price driven. Customers to the low-end supermarkets are price driven. What about service? Customers here do not expect a refund, right? So it's a no refund policy. Look at the support activities. Infrastructure, that is soft infrastructure, minimum corporate HQ. You want to keep costs down. HR, functional staff. Technology, computerized warehousing. That is where technology focuses, not on consumer research. Procurement, it is procurement of branded items because these are all low-end supermarkets which cannot do their own internal branding. The branding has to be done by a well-known company, so they need to buy branded products. So it is the procurement function focuses on procurement of branded products. What we have seen here is how this concept of the value chain can be used by the firm, by the company, to design its strategy, how it can be used to ensure that that broad strategic statement is translated into the appropriate strategy at each point within the operations. We've seen earlier that what is most important in strategy formulation and implementation is not to be caught in the middle. The surest way to go to disaster is if one part of the firm follows one strategy and another part of the firm follows another strategy. This confuses customers, ultimately dissipates the market for that particular company. That can be avoided by making use of the value chain. We now come to the issue of scenario planning. Scenario planning is a response to uncertainty. If we are very sure what is going to happen 3 years hence, 5 years hence, then we do not need to worry about scenarios. Scenarios are not forecasts. It's very important that we understand that scenario planning is not forecasting. Scenarios are not forecasts. Scenarios are only possible outlines of the future. Sitting where we are today, we know that certain kinds of things might happen 5 years from now. We don't really know what exactly will happen 5 years from now, but we have an idea about the kinds of things that may happen. these we collate together to create scenarios which are internally consistent, meaning we must not say that there will be a lot of foreign companies entering the market, at the same time say that the price of the product is going to go up, because if a lot of companies are going to enter the market, then the supply is going to go up and the price is going to go down. So any scenario we construct should be internally consistent, right? Now, there are several kinds of scenarios. I mean, you can create scenarios for whole societies, but from a corporate strategy point of view, the most useful kind of scenario is the industry scenario, where we outline the possible ways in which the industry could change over the next 3 years, 5 years, right?